Hi, I'm Scott Hebert. I'm a teacher in Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta, Canada, and I teach grade 8 science and social studies. I'm also the resident tech nerd and do the gaming stuff. So when it comes to gamification, this is a buzzword you're going to hear a lot about in education. And I want to kind of make produce a little bit of clarity here as to what it is. There's a misconception about gamification in education that it involves playing a specific game. I'm 35, so I remember kind of like my intro to gamification when I was a kid was about grade 6, and we played this game called Math Blasters, where alien ships came flying at you and you had to punch in with their, the formula, the answer to the formula on their ships, and you shot some lasers and blew them up. That's actually game-based learning, because what you're accomplishing there is you're doing a particular skill for a particular goal, or a particular game to achieve a particular goal. So in this case, it was blow up the alien ships, in turn, hopefully understand, addition, subtraction, whatever the case may be. That's game-based learning. What I do is something called gamification. And this means taking all of the psychology and game mechanics that are put into video games, because it's actually a pretty complex industry, and then taking all of those details out and putting them into a non-game scenario. So again, something like school. So my class acts as a live analog, not digital, RPG, where each student assumes the role of an avatar. Could be, a barbarian or a wizard or a knight or things like that. They all have different advantages and disadvantages that they have to cope with throughout the year based on the character that they choose. They follow a running story, which is myself, Master Hebes, which is a name a kids gave me years ago that I've just kind of adopted. That's kind of become my AKA, I guess you could say, for myself. And what has happened is we own this land called Scientia Terra. We find this powerful stone, and a bad guy comes to get it. So you have your very simplistic story of good versus evil. And then the students need to save me by the end of the school year, or in 10 months, or I'm going to be kind of exiled or executed, or whatever term you'd like to use, from the land. And so the kids are hired by me in secret to work their way through the different levels, units, to get to me and save me and defeat the boss, final exam, at the end of the year. So my game, as I mentioned earlier, is completely analog. And the reason I say this is because when people hear gamification, there is the misconception that I'm going to give kids one of these and they're going to sit down with it and they're just going to be like this, not paying attention or interacting with anybody. And gamification is actually the complete opposite. It is a face-to-face interaction, collaborative piece that works on what often education refers to as the soft skills. And that would be your collaboration, your creativity, your engagement, your problem solving, and all those kinds of things. Those, to me, are more important life skills than the actual curriculum that we often teach. Can I look up what density and viscosity is? Absolutely. Can I learn how to problem solve? Probably not as well unless you're actually practically experiencing it. The same thing with collaboration, negotiation, and all of those different types of things. So gamification is a way of pulling all kinds of different elements of games and fusing them into a program to captivate and engage kids, to motivate them not only extrinsically, but develop a passion for the subject intrinsically. So in my game, I have a story, I have a narrative, I have game boards, game cards, scratch tickets, avatars. I believe I mentioned game currency. The list goes on and on. Leaderboards, stores, jobs. And I really tried to work in developing on the entire complexity of a student and all of the facets that go with education, not just the sole curriculum that I teach in science, which of course I still accomplish in gamification, but I'm working at the more well-rounded approach. So keep in mind, when you're hearing and talking about gamification, we are looking at a giant progressive thing that kids are moving through, not just doing one activity, one game, to complete one specific goal.